Is this on? Okay, great. So in spite of recent events, I thought that I should make a video on why people settle. So something happened just a couple days ago, and I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but something happened and I tried to get it rectified because I thought it was unacceptable, and I was told to accept it just like it was because it's not that broken. It's usable, but it's not that broken, so I should accept it that way. And I thought, no, I'm not gonna accept that. It's unacceptable, it's ridiculous, and I wasn't gonna take it. So I followed through, I did what I had to do, and I got it fixed. You know, a lot of times people would ask me, hey, so why don't you just take that and walk away with it? It's a good deal. Like, my friends are always going to be asking, why you're always challenging people? Why are you always dragging things out, trying to get more? And I thought that maybe I should make a video to, talk about why, or talk about why I think that, you should not settle for anything less than what you're looking for, and why I think you should keep fighting and you should keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing for what's acceptable in your opinion. So the first thing I'd like to point out is that it is easier to be stuck in a familiar habit. So for instance, if you're always told to accept something the way it is, if you're raised that way, you're more likely to settle when you're asked to settle. And if you're raised in a different environment where you never settle for less, where you're always striving for what's best for you, what's acceptable, what you get in the value for what you paid for, you're not going to accept what's thrown at you, basically. And it becomes more and more of a habit. So if you're always like, oh, I'm just going to accept this, I'm going to leave it to whoever, it's not important to follow through, then you're more likely going to settle for a lot more things. But if you were raised in an environment where you always have and always insist on getting better, then you're not going to settle for less, if that makes any sense. This is in my own experience and opinions, obviously. Another thing that I like to point out is people are terrified of change. People are terrified of change. People would rather have familiarity than change, because changing might mean risking what they're used to and getting less comfortable or losing something. And people do not want that. People want to be stuck with what they're familiar with, what they know. And you can't blame them, because sometimes you're comfortable and you'd rather not take a decision that might compromise that position of comfort that you find yourself in. For me, not settling for less, it's more like understanding that this is not my comfort zone. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I'm used to. And I've come this far for something. I've come this far for that particular thing, and I'm not gonna stop just because he said I should stop. I'm gonna stop when I get what I want. And for me, that's what not settling for anything else means. A lot of people settle for less, and sometimes it's not because they want to, but because they're scared. And that's a kind of fear that holds them back. They might have the courage to, complain about it, but they never follow through and get it fixed and, accept what they want and just give up. I mean, they just the fear of losing something or the fear of being seen in a different way by other people just paralyzes them, and they just boom. They just give up. They let it go. They settle for less. That does not make much sense to me, settling for less. And I am pretty sure there have been times in my past that I have settled for less. And sometimes I may settle for less if there's no other alternative. But it doesn't mean that journey ends there. It just means this is the beginning of a new journey, and it's gonna keep continuing until I can get what I am looking for. And the part where I see a lot of people settle for less is in relationships. Most people get into relationships because they're lonely. Most people get into relationships because they're scared to be alone. It's almost always a fear or something else, so they might get into the wrong relationship, which might affect them the wrong way, and they come out worse than they got into the relationship. And I'm saying if you're here and you're thinking about getting in a relationship and you're only thinking about it because you're scared to be alone, you're alone, you're unhappy, and you think that might solve your problem, it won't. It definitely won't. There was a time in my life where I did that. I got into a relationship because I was lonely and I thought that this might fix it. It won't. There was a time I thought I was unhappy and getting into a relationship might fix that. It didn't. It most often it won't. It might provide you with a band-aid solution, which I mean it's not gonna last, it's not sustainable, and you're just gonna get back to the same point, but more often than not, worse than it was before. I think another reason why people settle for less is because they don't think they're good enough. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and we went out to have some fun, get some drinks. We all ordered. We went and got on the mic to, sing a song. And I said, hey, why don't you join me? Let's go do a song. It's gonna be great. And he thought, I'm not good enough. And something he's always wanted to do was to be on a stage, have a mic in his hand and entertain a lot of people. But he said, I'm not good enough. Mind you, this guy was like way better than I am at singing. I'm just like, this guy was really good, but he did not get on with me because he thought he was good enough. He settled for being more comfortable, and he didn't take the leap of what might have been the start of his career or what might have been something that gives him more confidence to keep building up. There's no problem with that, but if you have huge goals and you want to get there, then you don't want to be settling for less. Okay? I hope you're seeing this because I'm going to send you a copy of the video so you see, I told you this when you did not step up, and yeah, you're definitely seeing this video.